Okay, now you're solving these equations here. I'm only going to go over like 4 examples because I think they'll be pretty easy. So what's going on with my variable here? Well, there's a fact that's in parentheses, okay, with a -4 and the power's 3. So again, the third power is really the only kind of x that you have. Now you could, if you made it really complex, you'd write that out 3 times and multiply, no. So when I have a parentheses with the 1 power, again, we don't need to look for 3 answers. There's either 1 or 2. That's odd, so there's only 1, okay? So I'm going to use the q here, so it's going to be 2q to the power of 3 minus 6 equals 10. And then I'm going to make this table here. But since there's only one answer, I don't need this side, okay? You need that if there's 2 answers, but not when there's 1, okay? You're like, well, don't we always do it? Yeah, when there's a second power, because the second power is even. So that's why you need both sides. But not here. And we're going to put the x minus 4 expression there. So first I add 6 to both sides, and 2q to the third power equals 16. Then I undo the 2. That's q to the third power equals 8. And then I'm going to find the cubed root of both sides, not the square root, because it's not a second power. That one, hopefully, what times what's 8? It's a whole integer number. Okay, if you don't know it, I guess you go like this. Second, upside down v, 8, and that's 2. So q equals 2. Then I just put 2 here. And then I add 4 to both sides, and 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay, now the next problem, what's special about the variable? Well, the variable x, well, the only x you have is in a parentheses with a +5 and the power's 4. Well, again, with these parentheses, that's the only power of x I really see. So there's either 1 answer or 2 answers. Now this time it's even, so there are going to be 2 answers here, okay? So I replace the expression with q, 3q to the power of 4 equals 18. And I'm going to need both sides this time because I need 2 answers. I'm going to need both sides because the power is even. So I divide by 3, and q to the 4th power equals 6. Then I find the 4th root of each side. It's got to be a 4th root though. Now again, we need 2 answers, so we're going to have the oh yeah, by the way, x plus 5, x plus 5. We need both sides because of the even. Okay, so I need to find the 4th root of 6. So 4 second upside down v, because it's not a square, it's a 4th root. 6, that's 1.57. So you could be at 1.57, but since it's even, you could be at negative 1.57. Then I minus 5, and you're going to get some kind of weird looking answers. 1.57 minus 5 is negative 3.43. That's your first approximated solution. Then minus 5, negative 1.57 minus 5 is negative 6.57. These are approximated solutions. Okay, and I'll circle them right there. Okay, my next 2, and these are the last 2 I'm going to do in this vlog here. So what do we have? What's special about the x? Well, the fact is it has a +6 with a 3rd power. So 3rd power is odd, so there's only 1 answer. So I'm going to replace that with q to the 3rd plus 5 equals 20. And then I'm going to set up my table, but since there's 1 answer, I don't need that side, okay? I just need this side and with the x plus 6. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, and that's 15. So q to the 3rd equals 15. And then I find the cube root of both sides. Okay, now there's only a positive here, so 3 second, this one right here, and that's 15. Okay, 2.47. So I only put the positive there. and then I take away 6 from both sides. With roots, if you have an even root, it's a positive and the negative, but with an odd, I only have to do positive. So 2.47 minus 6 is negative 3.53. That's an approximated solution. On this, I'm not going to make you use the sheet because that's kind of miserable. Okay, now the next one, what's special about the x? Well, the fact it's in parentheses with a minus 5 operation and the power's 4. So the power's even, so there's going to be 2 answers like there normally is with a square root. And I'm going to use both sides now. I'm going to have to, because when I do the root, it could be the positive or the negative. So Q has a 2 multiplier, a 4th power, a plus 3 equals 123. So first I have to undo the plus 3 by subtraction, and that's 120. 2Q to the 4th equals 120. I undo the multiplication by division. Q to the 4th equals 60. And then I'm ready to find the 4th root. Okay, so I got to find the 4th root of 60, but remember, it could be positive or negative if it's even. So 4 second, right there, 60, and that gives me 30.98. So I could be at 30.98 or negative 30.98. Then I add 5 to each one of those. That's 35.98. That should be mental math. The other one could be 2, I guess. That's going to be negative 25.98. So you get some goofy looking answers. You just pretty much go with them. Remember, even, you have to use both sides. Even power. Odd, you use just the one side.